What's going on, Jets fans? Welcome into the Jets Report. I'm your host, Patrick Siepman, and coming up on today's show, just want to dive into some winners and some losers from the Jets' disaster of a game versus the New York Giants, where the Giants got the best of them and beat them by a final score of 31-12. But I do feel like some players definitely impressed me in this game. We can start off with the guy who impresses me every single time he touches that football, Braelon Allen, second-year running back out of Wisconsin. Now, Braelon Allen, I feel like he's just got more juice than he had this past season, where, every time he touches it, I feel like it could be a house call, which I didn't feel like that was the case during his rookie campaign. But he runs with such physicality. He falls forward at a very, very high clip. And again, every single time he touches it, it takes more than one guy to bring him down. Or if he's one-on-one, open field, in some space, you're either going to get ran over or he's just going to make you look silly. And what I have loved the improvement from year one to year two is his patience and the way he follows his blocks, where he won't, push the issue and just kind of put his head down and just fully fight forward for every little yard. He'll set some blockers up. He'll make a dude miss in the hole. This, again, every single time this guy touches the football, I feel like it's a positive play for the New York Jets. And don't be shocked, by the end of the season, if he ends up with more carries than Breece Hall, he'll for sure be the goal line back. We already seen it, short yardage situations, whether that's, 3rd and 2, 4th and 1. The ball is going to number 0, and I agree with that mindset, and hopefully that continues, once the regular season rolls around here in a couple of weeks. But I'll admit I was completely wrong, at least as it stands right now, on the signing of Brandon Stephens this offseason. I thought the Jets giving him 3 years, $36 million was a little rich for his price tag, but Brandon Stephens had probably one of the most impressive plays of the night for the entire New York Jets roster, where it was Wan'Dale Robinson. It was in a third down situation going up against the New York Giants first-team offense, minus Malik Neighbors and Andrew Thomas. But Wan'Dale Robinson was running a corner route. Brandon Stephens, he was running to get to the deep half of his zone. Noticed the ball was coming behind his ear hole. He quickly turned off it and was able to have a sweet PBU in a big-time situation. He also played the run very well yesterday. So Brandon Stephens, even though I didn't like the signing at the time, if he could be your corner across from Sauce Gardner, it's not the worst option in the world. Also considering A.Z. Thomas, it may take him a little longer than we anticipated with him just working his way back from this injury. So nothing but love for Brandon Stephens. Played his tail off tonight. And, also another corner here, one of the best slot corners in the league, Michael Carter, the second. He was great in the run game today, had a couple of sweet TFLs, and then he also had another awesome pass breakup. And, he just gets sticky with these corners. He's not afraid to get, play some press man coverage. He can drop into his own. Whatever you ask for him to do, he will do it at a very high level. So he popped for me. And again, I put more value into these, when they're going against the Giants ones, for example, against the Giants 3s and 4s, where Michael Carter, when the first team offense was out there for New York, he was a big reason why the Jets defense at least looked pretty solid outside of that one moon ball Russell Wilson had on the first drive of the game. So I thought he played his tail off. And then the guy who completely stacked the stat sheet today, Dean Clark. This guy had an unreal performance. 6 tackles, 3 solo, 1 sack, had a TFL, had 2 PBUs, a quarterback hit, and also one of the craziest interceptions you would see. It came at the end of the game. Tommy DeVito trying to make a play up the seam route, and he threw it off a Jets player's helmet, and it bounced right in the Dean Clark's hands. But quick reaction time, was able to get the interception. But, even though he's not the most versatile safety in the world, the Jets maybe having a massive need at safety with, Andre Cisco, Tony Adams, Malachi Moore. I want to be shocked if the UDFA ends up making this team. But he impressed me today, and maybe he went out there and just, earned himself a roster spot. But talking about earning yourself a roster spot, I could say the same thing about Quinton Skinner. He was awesome last night. 4 receptions, 48 yards, had one of the best touchdown catches you will see back left of the end zone. Brady Cook overthrew him by about 1.5 yards, but still the long arms of Quinton Skinner. He was able to get out there, haul it in, make an awesome play. And clearly this Jets quarterback room, specifically Martinez and Brady Cook, they believe in him. Like, they trust this guy. They will throw him 50-50 balls. Even if a DB is draped all over him, they will give him a chance. And with Malachi Corley, barely seeing the field, he'll probably get cut. Xavier Gibson now dealing with an injury. I think Quinton Skinner, if he has another good game during week 3 of the preseason, I think he can end up making this roster. And that would be, a pretty damn cool story for the UDFA out of Kansas. But I want to hear from you guys. You guys let me know, who's the biggest winner versus the New York Giants? If I had to say the biggest winner in terms of guy who probably helped himself make the team, it would have to be Quinton Skinner. But you guys let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Who is the biggest winner for the New York Jets versus the New York Giants? Now we'll dive into 3 losers here in a second. But before we do so, if you guys want to get some new New York Jets merchandise in your life, we got a link for you. Chatsports.com/Jets hoodies. These things are on sale right now, so take advantage before it's too late. Put this link in the comment section and description of today's show. But hit that link and get yourself some more New York Jets merch. These things are awesome, so make sure you guys check it out. All right, I don't mean Justin Fields is a loser in terms of, hey, we should be hitting the panic alarm. Everybody should be panicking, and, Jets for sure don't have a guy. But I also will say it was not his best performance, and specifically the passing game with the first-team offense. Now, I felt like Fields on a couple of those third-down situations, he just stood there in the pocket, and he was just staring down Garrett Wilson. And that's going to happen. Like, we know he's obviously trying to build that connection, especially trying to get it going in the preseason. And on one of those third downs, Paulson Adebo completely hacked Garrett Wilson. Should have been a, legal contact there. But still, Fields, at least just the regression we saw from, the first preseason game where, yes, he would get the Garrett Wilson, but then he would quickly get to a second read, which in the Packers game was Andrew Beck. And he was able to have about 30-plus yards just off, taking checkdowns and turning it upfield. But I think the first 2 games are a perfect example of what this experience will be like, where he will see a couple of his passes early on in the game, and he could start to get hot, just like a three-point shooter in basketball. But also we could see the other side of it, where if he misses a couple early throws, he could kind of start the, go in the opposite direction. But I'm not hitting the panic alarm just yet. You still saw the athletic ability on one carry he had tonight, but still processing the field. His overall passing game from the first-team offense wasn't good, but we also saw that first-team offense run the ball at a pretty high level against the Giants once. Now, did they have Dexter Lawrence? No, but they still got a bunch of playmakers over there for the New York Giants. So obviously some bad, but there at least was some good in his game, and I think that's just the impact he has on the running game. I mean, Braelon Allen and Breece Hall looked pretty damn good yesterday, but a loser here, and it was funny. Me and producer Dylan were joking around. We were saying, yeah, we were all in on Andre Cisco signing this offseason, but we weren't a big fan of the Brandon Stevens signing. I guess week 2 of the preseason, it kind of looked to be the opposite. The one Russell Wilson moon ball, which was really the only play the Giants offense, at least their first stringers, were finding success against the Jets defense. Now, Jackson Dart tore it up. He was killing the 2s and 3s, but at least on that one play, Cisco got turned around. Bo Collins. Probably don't even know who Bo Collins is. He completely put his foot in the ground. Cisco got turned, and Russell Wilson had time in the pocket. He's able to get to his back foot and just deliver one of those old-school moon balls. So Cisco got beat there, but besides that, he ended up having a solid game across the board. But still, if you're a safety, you give up one of those big plays a game, I mean, that's enough to get you kicked out of the NFL. That just can't happen. Hopefully they'll learn from it and move on the next week. And, a guy who, it's not even anything he did on the field, but Malachi Corley, I think he's just a loser because I think this game was the nail in the coffin of him getting cut. He's not even playing with the second stringers. They're throwing him in the fourth quarter of these games when the game's already decided. And I would be absolutely stunned if when the 53-man roster gets put out there that Malachi Corley is on the team. I would be shocked. Especially with guys like Arian Smith showing stuff. You obviously know the 4 receivers that will make it, but then Quinton Skinner, Brandon Smith as well, making some plays. So I just think Corley's just falling down the step chart where I'd probably say he's like the 7th, 8th, 9th receiver as it stands right now, and that's just not going to cut it. Now, maybe he pops during the last preseason game, but Jets coaching staff is also just not giving him the opportunity. It probably means they don't trust him. They don't have any need for him on this team, so it stinks. You wasted a draft pick on him last year, got him in the 3rd round, but this new regime has no ties to that pick. And if they feel like he's not cut out enough to be an NFL wide receiver, they'll just cut bait. So I got Corley as the last loser from the Week 2 preseason game versus the Giants. Now, if you guys made it to the end of today's show, we appreciate you. Hit me with a Go Jets down below in the comments section. Score was ugly, 31-12, but Aaron Glenn was talking about it post-game, like, hey, This is the reality of the NFL world. You can be on your highest of highs, which the Jets were after beating the Packers, but then you'll get humbled really, really quick. And clearly Glenn's not happy with the performance, so I expect to see a better one in week 3 of the preseason. And we'll have you guys covered with everything around your New York Jets up until the start of the regular season, throughout the whole regular season. So make sure you guys are subscribed here to the channel. We'll see you guys next time. As always, go Jets.